All right, I think that's about it. I think it's time to start. So, hello everybody, and welcome to what we hope will be a reoccurring event, the quarterly Skilltype APAC Town Hall, hosted by myself, Sean Brady from CAVAL, and joining me today and sharing the load is Kelly Terry from Skilltype. So, before we get started, CAVAL acknowledges the Wurundjeri peoples of the Kulin Nation as the traditional custodians of the lands on which CAVAL's offices are located, and we pay our respects to elders past and present. Well, let's have a quick look at what we're going to cover today. Essentially, it's going to be just starting off with new customers that have joined us, then moving into some new regional content, which is exciting. And then also after that, we'll also talk about new partnerships, and I'll pass it over to Kelly for that. And Kelly will also go through some new features that have been added to the platform in the past couple of months. And then lastly, we'll hand it over to everyone on the call for a Q&A session. And there is a Q&A option in the chat. So please, if you've got any questions, throw them in there. And so we'll answer them once we get to the Q&A. All right. So first of all, as I said, the first thing we're going to do is talk about some new customers. So a really big welcome to our newest members to the growing regional community. Those are Victoria University, Monash University, Swinburne University of Technology, and also the University of Queensland. And I think everybody, all four of those are on the call today. So really a great welcome and welcome to the community. These libraries join the likes of ACU, Flinders Uni, SMU in Singapore, Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, and also CAVAL as well, because we're also a user of the platform internally. So yeah, it's great to see that the community continues to grow, and looking forward to more joining us in the future very soon. Okay, so let's talk about content. So specifically regional content, and I just want to sort of do a big highlight just straight away about some of the content that's already in there that you're probably already familiar with on the right-hand side there. But also, just over the past month or two, we've also been indexing data from a range of other sources, and some of those local ones are on the screen at the moment. Informit, the Theatre Conference, and also NDF in New Zealand. So in terms of what we've done with Informit is that we've imported the 2024 Kamaji Yalanji Symposium sessions. So they're now available in the platform. So if you're not aware, that this is an event that actually is co-hosted by CAVAL and Informit, and it focuses on First Nations resources and includes topics such as reparative cataloguing and appropriate collection access, just to name a few things. The other thing that we've imported from Informit is also their ongoing series titled The Indigenous Scholars You Should Know. So this, as I said, this has been added, and this is a series that's currently up to 19 interviews with Indigenous scholars. So a great resource there as well. Up next, I mentioned briefly at the start that we've also imported a range of resources from the last couple of theatre conferences, from the 2023 and 2025 conferences. This has been, it's not everything that was at the conference. It was more of a targeted view as to what's appropriate to libraries. Next up, NDF, which stands for the National Digital Forum. You may be aware of this, you may not be aware of it, but it's a very large biennial conference that occurs in New Zealand. It has a lot of First Nations content, a lot of content coming from museums and archives and other associations, both in New Zealand and in Australia, and covers other things such as artificial intelligence, digital collection management, and also audio-visual collections. So this is really pulling a lot of content in, maybe not specifically from libraries. There's definitely some library content in here as well, but it's a lot more broad across the whole GLAM sector, which is fantastic. So we've also brought in from here about 78 resources from their 2021, 2023, and 2025 conferences, which is great. And just before I pass over to Kelly, who's going to talk about partnerships, I did want to give just a quick update about some things, or some content that everybody's been asking for. The first one being Alia, who I met again with last week. So you may be aware that they've had a couple of staff changes over the past year or two, and that's unfortunately sort of delayed some stuff. But what I can say is that we are aiming to have their content available by the end of the year, which is great. And then secondly, Vala, which is again something that we've been talking about a bit. So they've been diligently uploading content into YouTube, and we'll be beginning the importing of and indexing of that data in the coming weeks, which is really exciting as well. And also just a quick reminder that if we're always after more content, especially regional content. So if you have any leads on a content source, perhaps a YouTube channel, a Vimeo channel, it doesn't need to be a video. It could be any other type of content as well, perhaps podcasts. Please reach out and contact myself or Kelly, and we'll sort of see what we can do in that space. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Kelly.
Thanks, Sean. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful. So thank you, Sean. I'm so excited to be here, y'all. I'm pumped to present for, I think it's our second town hall with the APAC community. So I want to share that first. I'm really excited to be here. I also want, as Sean said, I'm Kelly Terry. I'm Skilltype's Chief of Staff. But I want to start my portion of the town hall just quickly mentioning some of our newest partners. The first partner I want to highlight is Every Library. We're really pumped about this collaboration. It's very exciting. It's a very exciting one for us because Every Library brings such a strong foundation in advocacy, policy, and community engagement. It doesn't matter where you're located in the world. And their resources are now available right inside of Skilltype. And what that's going to do, it's just going to make it so much easier for you, yourself, and teams to build skills and leadership, and being able to outreach into your community and have the guidance to do so. So you'll start seeing their training show up in your recommended search results right now. Move this chat out the way, right alongside some of our other trusted content partners, and you're just gonna have more access and even more ways to grow. And then the second partnership that I'm really excited about that I also want to introduce is Library Journal and School Library Journal. So they're now content partners on Skilltype. These are two of the most trusted names in our field, and through their partnership and their professional development programs, now you will have access to them directly available within Skilltype. So that means that libraries can access LJ and SLJ's high quality training on leadership, management, and innovation all in one place. You also will receive an exclusive discount for Skilltype members anytime you sign up for one of their trainings. And for us, it's just another way to help organizations simplify access to learning for their teams to dive into the information that they're most excited to learn about. And as Sean mentioned, we're also in conversations with other partnerships in your region to better align the platform to your needs regionally. So those are our two biggest announcements when it comes to our partnerships. I will be a bit slow with my slides. I'm only on my one screen. So I want to actually take a moment to focus on the platform itself. So most of you have been on the platform at some point, whether it's a part of your professional development program, whether it's a demo, whether you are using it and you're in the human resources side of things, you most likely have seen the platform. But I really, really want to focus on some of the basic features that we have that people don't necessarily utilize in a way that makes the most sense. So The next features are what really take Skilltype beyond the basics, and they're designed to help you personalize your learning, collaborate with colleagues, and share knowledge across your organization. And we want to do this in a way that makes professional development feel more connected and intentional. So I will walk you through a few examples of how to actually get the most out of some of our most basic features. So we're going to talk about trending topics. We're going to talk about user submitted content, and we're also going to talk about list collaboration and sharing. So we're gonna start off with honestly probably my favorite feature. When some of you were all onboarded, this was live, and for some of you, you may not have seen it if you haven't logged in a couple of weeks or months. So the first thing is trending topics, and what this does is this just gives you a snapshot of what's top of mind across the Skilltype community right now. So you can see the quick screenshots that I grabbed here. And so whether it's artificial intelligence or leadership or DEI, data literacy, whatever you can think of, this is just a really quick way to stay current and see what your peers are focusing their learning on. So you can see in the screen grab, you could see trending topics here. And what I did was I went ahead and selected Gen AI. That's huge. Everyone's talking about AI ethics, AI agents, tools, anything you can think of. So once you actually click into the trending topic, you are brought to the topic hub. So these are all of the resources that we have on Gen AI and the platform just automatically situated here for you to jump in just by clicking on the topic hub. So it doesn't matter if you're building like a staff development plan or getting ready to just jump into some training. You can see exactly what others are prioritizing learning about just by jumping into the trending topics. Um, what I think I love most about this particular feature is that it's dynamic. And by that, I mean it changes daily. So as new content is added and as user activity shifts, you're always going to see what's most relevant in real time. And for me, it's just if you're wondering what everyone else is learning right now, this is where you'll find the answer. So again, these are our trending topics. It's on your homepage and you can jump into it at any time. So the next thing that I want to quickly get into, this is what I would consider probably one of our most powerful, but honestly underused features in Skilltype is for the ability to add their own content. This for a user to add their own content. So you really can bring internal expertise and trusted resources into the platform, and you don't have to wait for myself or Sean or a conference, a professional development organization to do so. So maybe your organization already uses a great leadership course, right? Or you found this YouTube tutorial that has made your job so much easier, right? Or maybe there's just an article that became a part of your onboarding process. So instead of keeping those links buried in your emails or your SharePoint or your shared drives, you can add them directly into Skilltype. The screen grab that you see here is based on the topic hub, kind of like the topic hub that I just selected on the previous screen. It was Gen AI. This topic hub was artificial intelligence. I found an article about artificial intelligence in the library that was helpful. All you have to do is go and select resources, copy and paste the URL here, and select add. So once submitted, that content now becomes searchable, taggable, and available right alongside of our existing training content. So you can access it. Someone from your team can access it if you don't want to privatize it to yourself. And you have everything in one place. The second way to do this is actually through the admin panel, which you'll see right here. And if you want to add training, so let's just say you have you're in the admin role for your organization, and you want to add training just for your organization. Again, this doesn't have to be something that you produced. This is something that you may have found on Vimeo. You can copy the URL link and put it into add resources, copy in the URL link, and then you have the option to share it within just your team, or you can share it with the entirety of the Skilltype community. It's completely up to you. Something that always comes up here is these user submitted items. Are they reviewed or are they vetted before they're added to the platform? We found that our users, librarians, educators, other professionals consistently share high quality, topical, and relevant, keyword relevant materials So rather than adding friction and getting in the way of adding content to the platform, we have chosen to trust the community to bring in content that enhances learning. And we want it to spark collaboration. But if you do see something that doesn't make a lot of sense to be on the platform, you are able to flag it and we can review it for relevancy. And I quickly actually just wanted to show you how this works in real time. So earlier today, I was not today, last week, I was having a conversation with a colleague about neurodiversity and the library. And we always talk about building a learning library, but also how do we affirm neurodiversity in the library? I literally got online and I started looking for other sources that were just a little bit more relevant than what I actually saw on the platform. And this YouTube video is actually something that I came across, and it was literally called the neurodiverse affirming library. So I sat, I watched it, and I realized that this would be a really great item to add to Skilltype. So I want to quickly just show you how easy it is. So you can see that I am playing the video. We're going to fast forward a bit. Um, I'm going to scroll down. I was just curious to see how big how long the abstract was. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into Skilltype. I'm going to go to our browser hub and I'm going to find the topic neurodiversity because I want to add this into the neurodiversity hub. Once I get into the hub, all I'm going to do is copy the URL. Once I copy the URL, I'm going to come back to the topic hub and I'm going to enter in the URL. All you have to do is select add. And once you select add, I really want to highlight this portion here. If I'm doing this as an individual user and not as an admin, right? So I'm doing this in the capacity of me, I have the option to share this training with all of the Skilltype users, or I have the option to share this training and keep it private to me, right? But if I was an admin, I would have the option to share it with my entire organization or share it with the entire global community. So I'm gonna keep playing. I sat and I watched it, so I'm gonna add this to my completed training. And then here you can see that the title of the resource, it automatically populates for us from the metadata that we pulled from the link. You'll also go ahead and you'll select any restrictions or attributes for this resource. So did I get a certificate? Did it cost anything? You can select that here. We're from the metadata itself, we're already going to see that it's a video. Also from the metadata, we're going to see the duration of said training. The only thing that the metadata doesn't pull for us right now is the actual abstract. So you'll see me scroll down. I'll go back to the page itself. I'll scroll down. I will select the abstract. I'll copy and I'll paste it inside of the actual training. Once I do that, I can also select the publication date. I think for the sake of this one, yeah, I just did it the same day. But what you can do is also just go back to the YouTube video and figure out the day it was actually published. Here you'll see, because I'm actually in the neurodiversity hub, the neurodiversity skill is auto-selected for me. Now, if we were talking about neurodiversity and ethics in the library, I could search ethics. If we were talking about neurodiversity and emotional intelligence, I could also select emotional intelligence. But because I actually found this training and I entered it into entered the URL into the neurodiversity hub, it's automatically going to populate the tag neurodiversity. So as we go along, I'm highlighting neurodiversity. We're going to select add resource. And once I add a resource, you're going to actually see that the training was successfully added, the name of the training. And once I actually select close, here you'll see that I actually completed it the same day that I added it. And you'll also see the person that contributed said training in the platform. So it doesn't matter if it's a webinar, it doesn't matter if it's a document or a podcast, or let's say that you created a proposal and you submitted your proposal for a conference and it didn't get chosen, you can still upload that to Skilltype for others to see. We really want to create that learning library for you. And by doing that, we're allowing you to outsource and find content and add to the platform. So it doesn't matter, once you discovered a great training, whether it's from Skilltype or something you've added yourself, we want to see it. One thing that I always want to highlight here is, before I jump into the next slide, is anytime you add in something from a LinkedIn Learning, a Library Juice Academy, anything outside of Skilltype, As long as you link it inside of Skilltype, your training record will stay accurate and it will show as a completed training and the training record that you can download onto the platform. So again, even if the training originated outside of Skilltype, you can add it to the platform and add it to your completed training. If you're checking into your professional development, you always can see, you'll always have access to the trainings that you completed, whether they were in Skilltype or not. So the next thing that I really want to jump into really quickly is list collaboration and list sharing. So as of now, most of you, when you join the platform, you were able to create a list and you could share your list within a team that you're already in. That's changed significantly. Now you can invite your teammates to actually join a list to curate trainings. So by that, I could create a list. I think, yeah, I use neurodiversity in the library again, but I could lean on Karen, I could lean on Angela, I could lean on Liz and invite them in as curators to find different trainings and add them together to a actual list. You can have up to 7 curators on a training list itself. And you're also able to share a training list with any team you are a part of. So it's not just the team. Like if I was in reference, it's not that I can just share it with the reference team. If I'm in reference, if I'm in professional development and I'm in diversity and inclusion, right? It's an interest group. If I'm in those teams, I can share them with all of those teams. So that's something that wasn't live, I believe, when the majority of you actually joined the platform. So quickly, I will show you what that looks like as well. So you'll see me going to my training. I'm going to select, that takes a second, sorry. I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna select this training that this training list that I've been sharing with the New Jersey Library Association, and I want to add more curators. All I have to do is hit the 3 buttons, manage curators, and anyone that's even been invited to the platform, a part of my organization, I can add them on as curators to help me with this professional development list. It's so easy for me to actually jump back in. You can see successfully added curators. If I want to edit at any time, I can also remove those curators from the list at any time. I can also, from the 3 dots, I believe you probably saw it just a moment ago too. From there, let me just go back so you can see it. From there, you can also just select the shared option as well to share with other, to share with other teams. Sorry. Sorry, guys, my computer looks a little different and I can't go back further enough. Anyway, the 3 dots, you can actually see manage curators or you can see share training list. And like I mentioned earlier, whenever you do want to, there it is. Whenever you want to share a list, you can still share a list with any team that you are a part of. So think about this as it's turning your professional development into something that's shared and not siloed. And so instead of one person driving training for everyone, you can crowdsource knowledge and create a list that reflects the whole team's expertise and goals. And then once the list is finalized, you all can just start learning together. So it's just a really powerful way to make learning collaborative and to keep your team connected and accountable along the way. And then the last thing that I want to dive into just really quickly are just some housekeeping items that I know have not been announced to our APAC community. So just really quickly, we want to make sure that our data stays clean and current. So Skilltype now automatically archives inactive accounts. So that means if a user hasn't logged in for a year or more, their account will be removed. This helps us maintain accurate analytics. And then secondly, we've added a small but really helpful enhancement around invitations. So non-admin users can now invite colleagues from within the same domain to join the platform. That particular feature is not turned on by default. You would have to reach out to myself or Sean. But if that flexibility is something that would be useful to your team, you just need to reach out to us and we would enable it for your organization. But we have housekeeping updates like this just to streamline the experience and just makes Skilltype a bit easier to manage while keeping everybody active and engaged. So the next thing we're going to jump into is questions and answers and have a bit of a discussion. So I will pass it back over to Sean to jump into the last portion of the town hall.
Cool. Thanks, Kelly. So on the screen at the moment, we've got a couple of discussion points that we actually want to talk to you about just before we pass over, I guess, control to you folks. So the first is that we're interested in growing the community amongst customers in this region. So to do that, what if we provided a Slack channel where the community can interact and chat amongst yourselves? So have a think about that one. The second one is the regionalization of the platform, which is always a hot topic amongst the user base and something that is always brought up when I'm talking to customers. So we're just trying to have a think about the best way to accomplish this. So based on that, what if we created a regional skill type? And by skill type, that's something that provides users with scope that they can then limit their searches to across one or more skill types. And you can see on the right-hand side of the screen just here that when you're doing a search, you can narrow by skill type here. So again, the ones that we generally sort of highlight are academic libraries versus public libraries, things like that. But what if there was one here for the region? Possibly Australia, New Zealand, possibly APAC. But yeah, so if we were to do that, that would allow us to link specific tags and also spellings to a particular skill type. So it would allow us to have regional tags. So if we were to do that, I guess, would anyone be interested in helping us achieve this? I don't think there's probably one person or entity or body that would be able to highlight all the tags that are appropriate for this region. So I guess it's a bit of a call out to see if anyone could help us out. So now that I've said both of those things, I'll comment on those. What I'll do is I'll try and open this poll up. And I have to say, this is the first time I've tried to use the poll in Zoom, so anything could happen, but let's do this. I want to launch that. So Kelly, what do you see? Has that popped up anything for you? But
Yeah, I see the two
essentially, yeah,
questions.
awesome. So really, really simple here. It's anonymous, but yeah, if you could just maybe have a chat about this, or maybe, yeah, this is cool. So I guess opening it up to everyone on the call then, to do that, I'll just allow everybody to unmute themselves. Does anyone have any comments about the first one, about the Slack channel? Do people think that's a good idea? Do people think that maybe there's a different way, a different application that we could use, different approach? Liz?
Hi, Sean.
Hey,
Hi,
Liz.
Kelly. How you going? Thank you for your
Good.
presentations. That was great to just have that overview and refresh my memory of some of the things there. So that was terrific. Thank you both. Look, I think more engagement would be very welcome. I'm probably agnostic on exactly how we achieve that in terms of Slack or otherwise, but certainly, I would really welcome the opportunity to confer with other colleagues who have utilised the platform, who are in the process of, getting on board or perhaps further in their journeys and so forth. Just, I guess, to cross-reference and, have some of those open dialogues around, how we're kind of doing this as different institutions. So that would be terrific in my opinion. I appreciate the community is only as strong as what we put into it. So just finding the best way for this cohort to do that, I think is really and I'm welcome to hear other ideas. I'm not a big Slack user myself, but I'm sure I can get on board if I need to. But yeah, I'm really would be really, really open to that opportunity. So thank you for introducing it.
Thank you, Liz. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. So
Glad to
that's
be of
great.
service.
Yeah, and I would say that this wasn't my idea. This was Tony's idea, actually. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, I think the idea around what is the device, what is the thing? Is it a Slack channel or something? I think still needs to be pulled apart a little bit. I'm aware that not everybody has Slack at the moment, and not everybody will be able to access Slack possibly through, corporate IT,
Sure. Yeah.
governance and requirements. So if anyone has any ideas, and you don't need to, you can maybe put it in the chat itself if there's another product, or even, again, just email Kelly and myself, with maybe a different way that we could do this, then for sure. Thanks. Does anyone
Hi
else have
everyone,
any comments?
it's
Yes.
Angela here from TAFE Queensland.
Hey, Angela.
We are right in the middle of a procurement for Skilltype, so we're not on board yet, but we're very eager to do so and to be fully involved. I too am not a big Slack user, but very keen to jump on board and become part of a Slack community. I would love to see it regionalised Australia, New Zealand. I think that works, but I'd like to see it a little bit more segmented, a little further than that, maybe into academic community, and then whatever other communities may exist out there, whether there might be a public library forum, I'm not sure. But it'd be really great to be able to see how others in the academic library space are making use of and engaging with Skilltype. So yeah, we're eager to be able to do that.
Would it be too much to, and I am not offended if it is, would it be too much I'm not the biggest Slack user. Obviously, I have to use it for my job. So would it be too much to have a Slack channel, but also maybe have some sort of monthly meeting, kind of like on Zoom? It's just a standing meeting for those who want to join and chat. They can. For those who don't, they don't have to. But it's something that we just host once a month. It could be every Wednesday at this time. You all have such invaluable insight that I just would find it I want to make sure that we're capturing it. And so maybe we do it through two different ways. Sean, I just saw your hand go up.
Hi, I'm from Monash University. I would be very open to having some kind of communication. We don't use Slack at Monash, and I don't think that would be an option to get it at this stage. So if it could be a different channel, I know it's really difficult to find tech that everyone uses, but we would love to be part of the conversation because I think a lot of the region have similar questions. So if we could tease those out together, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rona. All right, so how about we move on to the next discussion point that I had here around the regional skill type. And I guess maybe this falls back into that first discussion as well about having somewhere that we can collaborate together on regional issues. And obviously the regional tags and spellings is probably at the top of that list. Does anyone have any other comments about that? I feel like we may have actually covered this one already today, but yeah, I'll pause for a moment. Cool. All right, thanks. So over to everyone on the call. Possibly if you can raise your hand first before maybe jumping in, or type something to the chat, and we're happy to discuss it. I see Karen.
Go ahead, Karen.
Hi,
Hey, Karen.
Karen from ACU. I'm just wondering about the statistics, there's a limited option for statistics at the moment, but I think it could be a lot more useful if it was a bit more granular. At the moment, if you download the usage, you get all of the tags in one cell on an Excel spreadsheet. So it's very hard to break down and really see where the focus is. So if you're wanting to get you know, charts and graphs to pass up for reports, etc. It would be really helpful to have just more flexibility and granularity in the statistics, if that's possible.
That's a great suggestion, Karen, and I want to make sure that I get it to the engineering team the right way. So not the actual CSV that comes with the completion and it has like the actual training name, the duration, the person that took it, the date that it was taken. The second zip that comes and it just has every tag associated with the trainings that they have been taking, right? That's what you mean? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
I think that's a really great suggestion. If you ever do need that in a faster way, if you let me know, I'll get it for you. But that is something that we've been working with our engineering team to release. Originally, it was supposed to be something that would come out at the end of this quarter. I'm not sure if that's still coming at the end of this quarter. I will ask, and that's something that I can get to Sean to share with you all. But the more granular reports are coming. We do have access to that, but we just want to make sure that we're improving the platform as much as possible and then jump onto those reports. But at the same time, how do you know what you want to see more of, or how do you know what you want your team to focus on more of if you don't have that reporting? So it is something that is on the roadmap, and I will get with Sean to share with you a better, a more solid time frame of when you can expect that.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. But if it's something you need now, let me know. And I do have the bandwidth to pull that for you and send that over to you.
Great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, thank you. Does anyone have anything else? I reckon that's it. Kelly, do you want to click across to the next slide, please?
Yeah, Sean, don't hate me. I am just curious though. Is anybody? I'm sorry, I got excited. Do we have any interest on doing like a once a month Zoom community for those who don't have the Slack? Again, zero pressure. I just want to see. Okay, I do see some thumbs up. Okay, okay, yes, yay. That's something that Sean and I could take offline and talk more about. And we could just have a standing date where everybody could join in. And then I still like the idea of having the Slack community, and then we can bring some of the findings or the thoughts or feedback from the Slack community to those monthly meetings. That way, the people that don't have that access to Slack can still be abreast of what's going on. Okay, just making sure. Sorry, that sounds good. I'm excited. I will go to the next slide.
Awesome, thanks, Kelly.
Absolutely. There we go.
All right, so I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I've spoken a lot about being able to email Kelly and myself. Our email addresses are on the screen at the moment. Our web addresses aren't here on purpose, but you can obviously tell what they are based on our email addresses, skilltype.com and caval.edu.au. What I wanted to highlight, though, was our LinkedIn accounts for CAVAL and Skilltype. That's predominantly where we post information on updates to the platform. There is is it a monthly newsletter, I think, Kelly? Is it monthly? Yep. There's a monthly newsletter that you can subscribe to if you go to Skilltype's LinkedIn account. But any updates around content, any updates around new customers, the community growing, it's all going to be there, as well as information about where you can also see us as well if we're attending any conferences or anything like that. So yeah, thank you again for everybody for joining us. Kelly, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, just 5 more seconds. Frank, thank you. I'm happy that you find the newsletter really informative too. As you all know, we thrive on feedback. So when you do get the newsletter, you sign up for the newsletter, or you just see it in LinkedIn. If there's some things that you want to know more about in the newsletter, I create it once a month. So just let me know. And those are some things that we can add into the newsletter. So just quick little tidbit there, but that's all. Thank you all so much for showing up today, and great questions, great feedback. We're just really excited to continue assisting you all on your professional development journey.
And just lastly, as always, this recording will be added to Skilltype itself that you'll be able to find. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great time. Have a great day, I should say. And hopefully the next one of these will be next year in 2026 for Q1, which is a bit scary. I don't know, February, March, something like that, once everyone's back into the swing of things. All right.
Absolutely.
Take care, everybody.
Bye all.
See you later.